Have you ever wondered why attraction sometimes feels like a complicated dance? Why a woman might seem more interested when a man isn't constantly at her beck and call? It's a question many men grapple with. They see a woman they like, they show their interest, and sometimes it feels like she pulls away. This isn't always about playing hard to get or, some kind of deliberate game. Often it's rooted in something much deeper, something tied to human psychology and the intricate dynamics of attraction. It's about the powerful, often unspoken allure of the chase, and understanding this can change everything. Many people assume that women only want to be pursued, to be showered with attention until they finally say yes. And while being desired is certainly attractive, there's another side to this coin. Women, like all human beings, also experience a profound sense of satisfaction and intrigue when they feel they are actively choosing, investing, and even working a little for something valuable. This isn't about manipulation or mind games. It's about the inherent human desire to invest in what we perceive as having worth. When a connection feels earned, it often feels more real and more significant. The idea of chasing doesn't mean a woman wants a man who is unavailable or uninterested. Far from it. It means she is drawn to a man who has his own life, his own standards, and who isn't going to give his heart away to just anyone without a second thought. It suggests that he values himself, and therefore his attention and affection are valuable. This dynamic allows her to feel like an active participant in the creation of the relationship, rather than a passive recipient of someone else's intense pursuit. It gives her agency and makes the connection feel like a mutual exploration. So, is it a game? Not in the way most people think. It's more like a fundamental aspect of how attraction builds and deepens. When a woman feels that pull to understand a man more, to win his deeper interest, to see if she can truly connect with him on his level, it ignites a different kind of energy. It's an energy of curiosity, engagement, and even a little bit of healthy tension. This process allows her to discover his qualities gradually, and in doing so to invest her own emotions and thoughts, making the potential bond feel all the more compelling and worth striving for. At the heart of why women sometimes chase is a powerful, often unconscious desire, the desire to feel that love has been truly earned. Think about it, anything in life that we get too easily without any effort or investment often feels less valuable. This isn't a cynical view, it's a human one. When we work for something, whether it's a career goal, a personal achievement, or a meaningful relationship, the sense of accomplishment and the value we place on it skyrockets. It becomes a part of our story, a testament to our effort and choice. This doesn't mean women want relationships to be a constant struggle or an uphill battle. Absolutely not. It means that the feeling of having actively contributed to the connection, of having been chosen by someone who is also choosing carefully, can be incredibly validating. It speaks to her own worth. If a man is discerning, if he has standards and self-respect, then his eventual decision to invest deeply in her feels like a genuine recognition of her unique qualities. It's not just flattery, it's a meaningful acknowledgement that she has won over someone of substance. Consider the alternative. A man who showers a woman with intense affection and declares undying love from the very first moment before he even truly knows her. While this might seem romantic in movies, in reality it can often feel overwhelming or even disingenuous. Why? Because it bypasses the process of mutual discovery and investment. It doesn't give her the chance to reveal herself gradually, to see her own efforts reflected in his growing interest. The love that feels earned, on the other hand, comes with a sense of security and authenticity because both individuals have actively participated in its creation. Ultimately, this desire to earn love is tied to our fundamental need for validation and self-esteem. When a woman feels she has captivated the interest of a man who is confident and has options, it's a powerful affirmation. It implies that she brings something special to the table. It's not about needing external validation to feel good about herself, but rather the natural human enjoyment of being recognized and valued for who she is, especially by someone she, in turn, respects and admires. This dynamic creates a stronger foundation for a relationship built on mutual appreciation and genuine connection. There's a fascinating principle in psychology known as the scarcity principle. In simple terms, we tend to value things more when they are less available or perceived as rare. This applies to material goods, opportunities, and, yes, even to people in the context of attraction. When something or someone is always readily available in limitless supply, our brains can subconsciously assign it less value. It's not a judgment of its actual worth, but rather a quirk of human perception. We are wired to pay more attention to what we might lose, or what is difficult to obtain. Now, how does this play out in the world of dating and attraction? If a man is constantly available, always texting back within seconds, always free to meet and always eager to please without any sense of his own schedule or priorities, it can inadvertently signal a lack of scarcity. This doesn't make him a bad person, of course, but it can diminish the perceived value of his attention and time. A woman might subconsciously wonder why he has so much free time, or why he's so quick to invest everything in someone he barely knows. This can, counterintuitively, make him seem less desirable. On the other hand, a man who has a fulfilling life, who is passionate about his work, hobbies and friendships, naturally has less immediate availability. His time is valuable because it's allocated to things he cares about. This creates a natural sense of scarcity. His attention feels more significant when it's given because it's clear he's choosing to share his precious time. This isn't about playing games or deliberately being unavailable. It's about genuinely having a life that makes his presence and attention a valued commodity. This often piques a woman's interest far more effectively. This psychological trigger is powerful. When a woman perceives a man as having high value and not being easily attainable, it can spark a desire to understand him better, to earn his attention, and to become a priority in his life. The challenge isn't about him being rude or dismissive. It's about him having self-respect and a life that doesn't revolve solely around chasing her. This perceived scarcity makes the interaction more engaging and the potential connection more coveted. It taps into that fundamental human trait of wanting what we can't easily have or what we feel we must earn. Masculine confidence, when it's genuine and not a display of arrogance, is incredibly attractive to many women. This isn't about being loud, boastful, or domineering. True confidence is quieter, more assured. It's a sense of self-belief, a comfort in one's own skin, and the ability to navigate the world with a sense of purpose. When a man possesses this kind of confidence, it acts like a magnet. It signals strength, stability, and the capacity to handle challenges, which are all deeply reassuring and attractive qualities in a partner. This confidence often manifests as leadership, not necessarily in a formal take charge of everything way, but in a more subtle, everyday manner. It could be decisiveness in choosing a restaurant, taking initiative in planning a date, or calmly handling an unexpected problem. These actions, big or small, demonstrate an ability to guide and make things happen. Women are often drawn to this because it creates a sense of safety and reliability. It suggests that he is capable and can be counted on, which frees her to relax and enjoy the connection without feeling like she has to manage everything. It's important to distinguish this attractive confidence from arrogance or control. Arrogance is rooted in insecurity and seeks to diminish others, while true confidence lifts people up. A confident man doesn't need to put anyone down to feel good about himself. He is comfortable with who he is, flaws and all. He can listen to others, admit when he's wrong, and still maintain his sense of self. This kind of secure masculinity is what truly captivates. It allows a woman to feel seen, respected, and safe to be herself. Furthermore, a confident man often has a clear vision for his life, or at least is actively pursuing his goals. This sense of direction is compelling. It shows he's not just drifting, but is actively creating a life he values. This ambition and drive are attractive because they suggest a partner who will be stimulating, growth-oriented, and capable of building a future. When a woman sees this, she's not just attracted to his current status, but to his potential and the exciting journey that partnering with him might entail. His leadership in his own life becomes an invitation for her to join. Deep within all of us, there's a fundamental human need that often traces back to our earliest experiences, the desire for unconditional love and acceptance. As children, we naturally crave this from our parents or caregivers, to be loved for who we are, without having to constantly perform or meet conditions. While adult relationships are different and certainly involve conditions and mutual effort, echoes of this primal yearning for profound acceptance can still influence our romantic attractions and desires in powerful, often subconscious ways. When adults seek this kind of deep connection, it's not about regressing to a childlike state of dependency. Instead, it's a mature desire to be seen, understood, and cherished for one's authentic self, including imperfections. It's about finding a partner with whom we can be vulnerable without fear of judgment or abandonment. This search for profound acceptance plays a role in why the feeling of earning someone's affection can be so potent. If we feel we have truly won the heart of a discerning, high-value individual, it can feel like a very deep form of validation and acceptance. This ties into why women may be drawn to men who present a certain level of challenge or selectivity. If a man gives his deepest affection and commitment too easily without truly getting to know her, it might not satisfy that deeper need to be chosen for her unique essence. It might feel superficial. However, when she senses that a man is thoughtful, observant, and has his own strong sense of self, his eventual deep affection feels more meaningful. It's as if he has seen all of her, the light and the shadows, and has chosen her specifically, which resonates with that old deep desire to be truly known and loved. This isn't to say women are looking for men to be parental figures, far from it. It's about the emotional connection. The feeling of being profoundly understood and accepted by a romantic partner can create a sense of emotional safety and security that is, honestly, incredibly fulfilling. When a woman invests effort in a connection with a man who is also investing thoughtfully, the bond that forms can feel incredibly special, a unique kind of unconditional regard within the context of a mature, reciprocal relationship. It's a love that feels both earned and freely given, a powerful combination. One of the quickest ways to diminish attraction is by exhibiting neediness or being overly available to an excessive degree. It's a common pitfall. A man might think that by constantly being there, by showering a woman with attention and instantly catering to her every whim, he's showing how much he cares. However, this behavior often has the opposite effect. Instead of drawing her closer, it can create distance and even discomfort. This is because neediness signals a lack of internal validation and an over-reliance on the other person for one's sense of self-worth. When a man appears too needy, it can inadvertently put a lot of pressure on the woman. She might feel responsible for his happiness, or that she's the sole source of his emotional well-being. This is a heavy burden for anyone to carry, especially early in a relationship. Attraction thrives in a space where both individuals feel free and independent, choosing to come together out of desire, not out of a desperate need to fill a void. Constant availability and an insatiable demand for reassurance can quickly smother the spark of initial interest, making the dynamic feel draining rather than exciting. Neediness can also be interpreted as a lack of self-respect or a lack of other fulfilling aspects in his life. If a man drops everything instantly for a woman he barely knows, or if his entire mood depends on her responses, it can raise questions about his own passions, friendships, and purpose. A woman is generally more attracted to a man who has a rich, full life of his own, and who sees a relationship as an enhancement to that life, not the sole focus of it. This doesn't mean being aloof or uncaring, it means having a strong center. It's crucial to differentiate between healthy attentiveness and unhealthy neediness. Being responsive, caring, and showing genuine interest are all positive traits. But when this crosses into constant demands for attention, jealousy over her time with others, or an inability to function happily without her constant validation, it becomes a significant turn-off. Attraction flourishes when there's a balance, when both people feel secure enough in themselves to give each other space, knowing that the connection is strong enough to withstand it. This allows desire to breathe and grow naturally. In today's world, a man's independence is an incredibly attractive quality. This isn't just about financial independence, though that can be a factor. It's about emotional independence, having a strong sense of self and possessing a life that is already engaging and fulfilling on its own. When a man has his own passions, hobbies, goals, and a solid circle of friends, he projects an aura of completeness and self-sufficiency. This is highly appealing because it means he's seeking a partner to share his already great life with, not someone to create a life for him or to rescue him from boredom or loneliness. This independence naturally leads to giving a woman space, which is vital for attraction to develop and deepen. When a man isn't constantly demanding her time or attention, it allows her the room to miss him, to think about him, and to desire his presence more. It shows that he trusts the connection and trusts her. This space isn't about neglect, it's about respecting each other's individuality and personal lives. It allows both partners to recharge, pursue their own interests, and then come back together with fresh energy and new things to share, making the time spent together more valuable and exciting. A confident, independent man is not threatened by a woman's own ambitions or her need for her own space. In fact, he usually admires and supports it. He understands that a healthy relationship is made up of two whole individuals, not two halves trying to make a whole. This mutual respect for independence creates a partnership based on equality and shared growth rather than dependency. It fosters an environment where both individuals can thrive, both as individuals and as a couple. This is a far more sustainable and attractive dynamic for long-term happiness. Ultimately, a man who is independent and gives space communicates that he has high self-esteem and believes in his own value. He doesn't need constant reassurance because he is secure within himself. This quiet confidence is far more compelling than overt displays of need. It makes him a challenge in the best sense of the word, not because he's playing games, but because his life is genuinely interesting and his attention is something to be earned by someone who also brings value. This makes a woman feel that if she captures his interest, it's a genuine reflection of her own worth and appeal. There's an undeniable allure to a challenge, especially in the realm of romance. When we say women are often drawn to men who are a challenge, it's not about wanting someone who is difficult, unkind, or plays manipulative games. That's not attractive, that's frustrating. Instead, it refers to a man who has high standards, self-respect, and who doesn't make himself too easily won over. He values his affection and invests it wisely. This creates an intriguing dynamic where a woman feels that earning his deeper interest is a worthwhile pursuit, one that reflects positively on her own qualities. This challenge is often about the excitement of gradual discovery. If a man reveals everything about himself immediately and declares his undying devotion on the first date, it leaves little room for mystery or anticipation. However, a man who is a bit more reserved, who lets the connection unfold organically, allows a woman the pleasure of slowly peeling back the layers. Each new insight, each shared vulnerability that is earned over time feels more precious. This process of gradual revelation keeps the interaction engaging and makes her feel like she's truly getting to know someone complex and interesting. Think of it like a great story. If you know the ending from the first page, the journey of reading it loses much of its excitement. Similarly, in attraction, a bit of unpredictability and the sense that you don't have him completely figured out can be incredibly compelling. It keeps a woman on her toes in a positive way, making her think about him, wonder about him, and look forward to their next interaction. This isn't about being intentionally elusive, but about having a depth that can't be fully grasped in an instant. It's about being a person of substance. Ultimately, the thrill of this kind of healthy challenge helps to keep the spark alive long term. When a man continues to grow, to have his own interests, and to maintain his sense of self within the relationship, he remains an intriguing partner. He doesn't become complacent or take her for granted, and he doesn't allow himself to be taken for granted either. This ongoing dynamic, where both partners continue to invest, explore, and sometimes even gently challenge each other to be their best selves, is what keeps a relationship vibrant and prevents it from falling into a rut of predictability. So how can you, as a man, embody these attractive qualities and maintain a woman's interest over time? It's not about learning a set of lines or tactics, it's about cultivating genuine high value within yourself. The first step is to focus on becoming the best version of yourself. This means investing in your passions, your career, your health, and your personal growth. When you are genuinely engaged with your own life and striving to improve, you naturally become a more interesting, dynamic, and attractive individual. Your energy becomes infectious. Secondly, it's crucial to maintain your independence and your own life, even when you're in a relationship. Don't let your world shrink to revolve solely around your partner. Continue to nurture your friendships, pursue your hobbies, and have goals that are separate from the relationship. This not only makes you happier and more fulfilled as an individual, but it also keeps you interesting to your partner. It ensures that you always have new experiences and perspectives to bring to the relationship, preventing things from becoming stale. It shows you are a whole person, not just half of a couple. Communication is key, but it's about communicating value, not neediness. This means being clear about your standards and what you want, but also being an excellent listener and showing genuine interest in her. It means being confident in expressing your affection, but not constantly seeking validation or reassurance. It's about showing her through your actions and your consistent character that you are a man of substance. Let your self-respect shine through. When you value yourself, she's more likely to value you too. This means not being afraid to disagree respectfully or to have boundaries. Finally, never stop being a little bit of a challenge in the healthiest sense. This means continuing to surprise her, to be thoughtful and to keep the romance alive. Don't become predictable or complacent. Plan interesting dates, share new experiences, and continue to invest in the connection. It also means not being afraid to give her space to miss you and maintaining that slight element of intrigue that keeps her curious and engaged. By focusing on your own growth, maintaining your independence, communicating value, and keeping the dynamic fresh, you become the kind of man she not only chooses but continues to choose every single day.